This is Michael Gerace with Clearview Sewer Cams. It is January 23rd, 2020. We are located at 1051 Galloway Street, Pacific Palisades, 90272, performing a waistline and sewer line inspection. We could not find a mainline cleanout at the front of the house, but we did find a 4-inch waistline cleanout on the side of the house by the dining room area. So we're going to run through the waistline and take a look at the waistline to the front of the house, and then the sewer line from the front of the house to at least the 4-inch by 6-inch connection. There is a mainline clean out by the sidewalk, so hopefully we can get all the way out. If we cannot, then we'll go ahead and relocate our camera and we'll run through the 4-inch ABS sewer line clean out down by the sidewalk area to inspect the street. Clean our camera lens off. Okay, we get our camera lens cleaned off, and this is going toward the backyard from the side of the house, and there's a crawl space right here on the left hand side of the house as you're facing the house from the street, and there's a 4-inch ABS plastic clean out here, and then this is going toward the front of the house and the street area. So we're going to begin running through this 4-inch ABS waistline. We got some buildup and debris from paper right here. That appears to be from the upstairs bathrooms. So far, joints look to be in pretty good condition. I don't see a major issue with it. We're going to flush that line later, and we're going to take a look at the line on the way out and see if we have enough fall or if that's why the paper is sticking to the side walls of the pipe. So far, all the ABS joints appear to be in fair condition. Making a turn. Turns look to be in good condition. We do have that one turn right there where we do have a fairly large offset. I'm actually hitting it right there. That's at about 38 feet 9 inches, which I'll take a look at on the way back. But we do have a major root intrusion right here. Major root intrusion right here, but it also looks like it may be a clean out possibly. So we're going to pause for a moment. We're going to locate this area. Okay, we've located a buried mainline cleanout on the side of the house. I'm trying to just push through there real quick. We put an orange flag. It's outside the kitchen area in the gravel, and we've marked it. I think the roots are just growing through the cap. The cap looks like it's not on real well, so it needs to be capped properly, and that will probably take care of the root intrusion issue right there. Doesn't look like anything major. I'm going to go ahead and try and uncover it a little bit with shovel after and take a look. Okay, that joint appears to be in pretty fair condition. Now we're pushing down the right-hand side of the house as you're looking at the house from the street. So we're pushing along the right-hand side of the house. It comes all the way down and then cuts across the driveway area. Making a turn now. Starting to head across the driveway area. And then we should pick up another clean out in about 30 feet maybe. Pick up another clean out in about 30 feet out by the sidewalk area. Kind of hard to push. Got another joint. Gonna pause for a moment. Okay, we're going to continue to push. Coming up to a drop. Come up to a drop and hopefully we'll hit the clean out close to here. I don't know that we're going to make it all the way out to the street because we're probably still another 40 feet from the street. Making another turn. That's the clean out area right there. Gonna go out just a little bit further and we're into the vitreous clay. We increase from the 4-inch ABS plastic to the 6-inch vitreous clay. And we're gonna see if we can push all the way out, if that's possible, so we only have to have one setup. And that vitreous clay joint appears to be in fair condition. Minor offset, nothing terrible. And we have some root intrusion at this joint, which I believe we're in the parkway area. Should be right in the parkway area. Appears to be minimal and more than likely can be taken care of with a chemical called Root X at this point. if that's all we have in the 6-inch lateral, I don't even see a reason to hydrojet at this point. I think we may be able to just put the root X down there and then take care of it that way. So we're going to pause for a moment. Okay, we've located this area at approximately 4 foot 7 inches deep under the sidewalk area at the front of the house, which is right in front of the secondary mainline cleanout by the sidewalk area. The primary mainline cleanout we found was buried on the right hand side of the house. We're running through the waistline now, which goes all the way across the house, makes a turn, comes out the right hand side of the house, goes all the way down the garage area, then cuts across the driveway and goes out to the street. So this area is right below the sidewalk. We're going to continue to run out, hopefully see if we can get this out. A little bit tough to push. That joint appears to be in pretty fair condition. And we're starting to head downhill a little bit, so it's helping us a little. Okay, got another pretty heavy root intrusion here. Okay, we're going to go locate this area, and we're going to mark this area real quick. Just going to pause again. We marked this area right in front of the water meter on the house side of the water meter at 5 foot 5 inches deep with an orange flag, and we do have root intrusion here. We cannot tell how bad the joint is. That joint's pretty well compacted. It's about 70% restricted. So we're going to push through now. See if we can get out the rest of the way to the city sewer. That area should be hydrojetted, and it appears we've got another joint, and we've got a pretty large offset here. You see how it drops down into it, and then the next joint, there's a very large offset. You can see the entire face of the pipe right in front of you, right off to the left, from about the 12 o'clock area to about the 6 o'clock area. See the entire face of the pipe. So that area is offset, and it's underneath a car that's in the street. That's where we're at right now. We're going to push out some more. Let's see if we can get over this area. We've got a break in the pipe right there. You can see as we come up upon it right here. See, it's cracked all the way around. That crack is all the way around the pipe, and you can see how much that joint is shifted in front of us. You can see the entire face of the joint, and right there we're hitting right into it. So what we're going to try and do, we're going to try and run some water. That section of piping is cracked vertically from the edge of the fitting, coming back at about the 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock area, going toward there, and then it's broken on the left, and it's coming back and going all the way around. So that section of fitting is definitely in danger of completely collapsing. We're going to try and mark this area real quick and see. I don't know if I've reached the opposite side of the car that's there right now, but we'll take a look real quick. And we're going to try and run some water after and see if we can get the camera to float and jump that area. I don't know. It's going to be very difficult.
Very difficult. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 16 17 18 19 20 21 22 23 24 25 26 27 28 29 30 31 32 33 34 35 36 37 38 39 40 41 42 43 44 45 46 47 48 49 50 51 52 53 54 55 56 57 58 59 60 61 62 63 64 65 66 67 68 69 70 71 72 73 74 75 76 77 78 79 80 81 82 83 84 85 86 87 88 89 90 91 92 93 94 95 96 97 98 99 100 101 102 103 104 105 106 107 108 109 110 111 112 113 114 115 116 117 118 119 120 121 122 123 124 125 126 127 128 129 130 131 132 133 134 135 136 137 138 139 140 141 142 143 144 145 146 147 148 149 150 151 152 153 154 155 156 157
Okay, we're going to wait for the water for a moment. As you can see, I'm butted up against the entire face of that pipe right there, where it's shifted, and that piece that is attached to it is completely broken. There's a piece broken out of it on the left. There's root intrusion on the right. It's in pretty poor condition. So we're going to try and back up just a little bit. Let's see if we can push through real quick. It's going to want to go right into the face of that.
Try to turn, that's fine.
Yeah. I don't know if we can get more water going upstairs. Sorry, man. I can do it. I got my shoes loose. Okay, we're in the city sewer. We got past the offset. We're going to begin pulling back now. Couldn't really take a look at these joints on the way out because we had to run in pretty fast. We got some roots right there by the saddle area. Up at the top, got quite a bit of roots there, but I don't know what the condition is. You can't really see it. The line is going to have to be hydrojetted anyhow to take care of the other areas. So that can be re-inspected and just check it after. Doesn't look terrible, but this joint right here, you got some roots coming in, and as you can see, from about the 6 o'clock area going up toward the 12 o'clock area, this is the entire face of the pipe. So instead of the pipe coming together like this, it's shifted like that right now.
Okay.
And we're going to keep pulling back. So that may be an issue right there. Until that's hydrojetted, we can't see exactly what condition it's in, whether that's broken or whether that can possibly be lined. If it can be lined, it's a lot less expensive. And we marked that area in the street with a red crayon X, probably between, what was it, 10 and 11 feet deep?
Yeah.
Yeah. It bounces back and forth once it starts getting that deep. But it's right in that area. That joint looked to be in pretty fair condition. That joint looked to be in pretty fair condition. That joint looks to be in fair condition. Now we should be coming up to the joints that I was talking about. When we come back, I'm not going to be able to get back over them even without having to run a whole lot of water. Right here. That's the entire face of the pipe right there that I'm running into, where it's just really shifted, and there's a piece broken out of it right here. There's a hole right there.
Okay.
And you can see right here, this is cracked. Okay. It's cracked here, and then coming back, there's a huge crack going all the way around that way. And if you get enough movement, we get an earthquake centered up this way somewhere, and it bounces enough, it can just, it'll collapse because it's got no stability anymore. So that needs to be taken care of. And that area is by the curb. We marked it at the curb. What was it, about 5 feet deep?
Yeah, it was 5.1 inches.
Yeah. So that area has to be taken care of. And at that point, I think this thing could still be lined.
Okay.
So there's a chance that it
That's
could
an
be
option.
dug up at the clean out and shoot a liner in there possibly. It all depends on the inspector, and that's got to be an option, because if they want to see a CCTV, they don't want you to show them anything. They want you to be here with a camera, run it, then they'll take a look at it and they'll tell you whether they'll let you line it.
Who's the CCT? What is that?
This is the closed caption
okay.
TV. Closed circuit, excuse me. Closed circuit.
Yeah.
Closed circuit TV.
Okay.
So they'll take a look at it, and the city inspector will decide whether he feels that it's intact enough to let you put a liner in, or whether they want it replaced. That's all up to them.
Okay.
But there's a possibility it could be lined. Okay, then we come back, and you can see here, like I said, a lot of roots on this side, and you see the whole face there, and it's broken all in that area. Then we come back here, and it's shifted again, where you can see we drop down into it. You drop down. It's not flush. Right there. I mean, I've seen worse. I've seen better.
Okay.
Could be a lot worse. And then there's root intrusion in this joint where it's probably about 70% restricted right now. You've got a good hole in the bottom of it, right in here. So everything's going to flow through still.
Okay.
As it grows down from the top more, then it's going to start catching it.
Okay.
Right now it's not at that point. Okay. And then I think that's pretty much about it. Coming back to the 4-inch plastic ABS, you got one more small joint right here off to the left. So they start getting in like this. They start getting in little hairline roots. Then they grow bigger and bigger and bigger. They get water, they get food. It's fertilized, and that joint appears to be in fair condition right there. And then we're back at the ABS plastic. We're back right here is where the transition is,
Right.
and that clean out in the front yard
Okay.
area. From there back, the only other issue, like I said, is where that clean out is.
Okay.
If you want to take a look, I can show you right now.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to pause this for a moment. Okay, we've showed both realtors and the prospective seller where this mainline cleanout is that has the root intrusion. And we've marked it with an orange flag, and you can see the top of the cap. I've uncovered it. It was buried a little bit, and the cap was just not on real well, and roots are growing down into the line. So we're going to continue pulling back now, and we'll complete our waste line and sewer line inspection. Everything from back here looked to be in good shape except for that one area where we have the root intrusion from the clean out, and I believe that was at somewhere around 45 feet or so, but we will be able to see it on the way back. Everything else looked pretty good. We had the other one joint in there also in the ABS plastic, but that's not something that I'd be too concerned about because it's just looked to me like a piece of pipe that may not have been seated 100% into the fitting, or possibly a Fernco coupling where it gets shifted a little bit. Didn't see any root intrusion in the coupling or any other issues with that. We should be coming up on the root intrusion from the mainline cleanout on the right hand side of the house now. And there it is right there. We're at 40 foot 5 inches. So that's just growing in through the cap. So once that rubber cap's removed, cleaned out properly, and a proper clean out is installed on the top, clean out cap or a plug, then that'll be taken care of and you won't have any issues with that. But that's a major restriction right there. That can cause a stoppage very easily. And there's our turn, and that's our little bit of an offset in there, more than likely. Just wasn't deep seated enough, or maybe wasn't even cut real clean, but don't see any major issues there. Then these are fittings that are going up to the bathrooms and to the kitchen. And now we're pulling back toward our waistline cleanout on the left hand side of the house, over by the crawl space. And we just have some buildup here. We ran water, and there's nothing holding water, so we probably just don't get enough water running upstairs in this area when the toilet's being used and doesn't flush everything through real well. But that will conclude our video waistline and sewer line inspection.